Hey all you junior ecologists, welcome to the Ecology Corner. I'm your host, Ben Register, and today we're going to be talking about something really cool. Salamanders! Actually, we're going to learn about one salamander in particular, the Neuse River Waterdog. This interesting looking creature is endemic to central North Carolina, meaning that it doesn't live anywhere else in the wild. Since I live in that area, I thought it'd be fun to share about this nifty animal and teach about why its conservation is so important. The Neuse River Waterdog is listed as endangered by the IUCN, meaning that it could go extinct if we don't protect it. But don't worry, by the end of this episode, you'll learn a lot about the water dog, and you'll be able to make informed decisions that will help its survival. The Neuse River Waterdog is an amphibian, meaning that it spends at least some of its life in the water. However, this special creature is permanently aquatic, so it spends its entire life in freshwater streams like this one. Amphibians also have what's called semi-permeable skin, which means they can absorb substances from the environment through their skin. However, this trait can be dangerous. If there are toxins present in the water, amphibians can absorb them through their skin, which can be harmful or fatal. Now remember, kids, when you're out in nature, you always want to leave the area cleaner than when you found it. These toxins are especially present in urban areas, and central North Carolina is rapidly urbanizing. This graph from the U.S. Census shows North Carolina population growth since 1790. Most of this growth has occurred in Mecklenburg County and the Research Triangle. The growth in these areas is good for the local economy, but not so great for the water dogs. In a 2019 study by Sheldon et al., researchers found that urbanization has detrimental effects on water quality and reduces macroinvertebrate diversity. Because amphibians can absorb toxins through their skin, they can only live in areas with excellent water quality. The urbanization of the Neuse River Waterdog's native range could be reducing water quality, making it difficult for the water dog to survive. In fact, Hall et al. Found in a 1985 study that the Neuse River Waterdog contained pesticides and PCB, polychlorinated biphenyls, in its tissue. These findings are disturbing and sound pretty bad for this endangered species. Aside from toxins in the water, the Neuse River Waterdog also faces other threats. The first one I want to talk about is sediment pollution. I'm here at an urban stream in Raleigh, North Carolina. Do you see all of this vegetation around me? That's called a riparian buffer, and it's super important. The plants in a riparian buffer stabilize the riverbank as their roots grab the soil like a hand. This ecosystem service prevents the soil from washing away and making the water murky with sediment.
But Ben, what does this have to do with the Neuse River Waterdog?
I'm so glad you asked. You see, a 2021 study by Unger et al. Examined the effect of sediment pollution on gilled eastern hellbenders, which is another permanently aquatic salamander. The researchers found that increased sediment pollution led to increased oxygen uptake, which can create hypoxic conditions in aquatic ecosystems. Hypoxic is a fancy word that means low oxygen levels. The researchers also mentioned that sediment pollution can increase macroinvertebrate mortality, which would reduce food availability for the water dogs. Clearly, we need riparian buffers to prevent these things from happening. However, riparian buffers are in danger as a result of urbanization in some parts of the country and in the world. Thankfully, North Carolina has laws that protect riparian buffers in the Neuse River Basin and the Tar-Pamlico River Basin, which are the places where the water dog lives. It's important that those laws stay in place and become stronger over time. Remember when I mentioned hypoxia? Well, there's another issue that can cause hypoxic conditions, and that's eutrophication. Eutrophication is a big word that means excess nutrients in the water, which causes extreme algal growth called a bloom. When these algae die, they decompose in a process that sucks dissolved oxygen out of the water. In urban areas, runoff carries nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus into streams, which can cause algal blooms. When the algae decompose and reduce oxygen levels in the water dogs have a hard time breathing since they're permanently aquatic. I think I hear the mail truck. Let's go see if we got any mail. Let's go inside and read this letter. It says, "Dear Ben, I really love the Neuse River Waterdog, and I don't want it to go extinct. What can I do to help? From Braden, age 9. Well, Braden, that's an excellent question. Sometimes it can be frustrating trying to fight issues that seem out of your control. But don't worry, there are some things that you can do to help. First, make sure that your parents don't use too many pesticides or fertilizers on their lawn. Pesticides can be poisonous for the little water dogs, and fertilizers contain those nutrients that cause eutrophication. Now, Braden, if you live near a stream, one very helpful thing you can do is plant native vegetation. Native plants do a great job of stabilizing soil near riverbanks, which prevents erosion and sediment pollution. Another thing you can do is vote when you're a little bit older. Remember when I mentioned that North Carolina has laws that protect riparian buffers? Well, we need leaders who are going to keep those laws in place and continue to prioritize the environment in their policy.
But Ben, why should we care about protecting the Neuse River water dog anyway?
Well, all animals are important, and they all have a role in their ecosystem. The Neuse River water dog preys on small invertebrates like insects and crustaceans. Therefore, they help regulate invertebrate populations and help keep the ecosystem in balance. You could also say that all life has inherent value and deserves to exist no matter their use to humans. As human society grows to meet our needs, it's important to remember all of the other living things that rely on this land. I hope everyone had fun watching our show today and learned a few things too. I'm your host, Ben Register, and make sure to tune in next week